Hey, big heads up out there. This guy right here, Glenn Stearns, Undercover Billionaire. This guy, I have a new hero. Glenn, if you see this, man, I got to tell you, like, Discovery Channel, you guys knocked it out of the park with this dude. Here's a guy. If you hadn't seen the show, by the way, folks, you have to see this, okay? If you're an entrepreneur, business owner, startup, you have a dream about starting a business. If you're struggling right now, you have nothing, but you still have the dream in your heart and you're committed and you got this idea, you have no money, you don't know where to get debt, you don't know how to start up, you don't know anything. This dude right here, okay, Glenn Stearns, who had a mortgage company that he made hundreds of millions of dollars from. This guy puts a show together. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. Discovery Channel, Undercover Billionaire. This guy gets dropped off in a town he's never been to. They take away his name. They take away his money. They take away his contacts. They give him a piece of shit truck. He's left with $100, and he tries to turn it into $1 million business in 90 days. I don't know why more people are not watching this show, because it is ridiculous. I just finished watching all 8 episodes, and then he went back to the town they dropped him off in. I think they dropped him off in, no, I know where they dropped, Erie, Pennsylvania, or a little town just next to Erie. He spends 90 days there, okay? Now, like, what I learned watching this show was ridiculous, okay? Glenn Stearns, you are, every episode that I watch this show, I'm like, not only was I entertained and I learned, but every show I was asking myself, man, would you do that? Every show. Would you do that? Could you do that? The first question is, would I do it? I can't imagine getting dropped off $100, lose my name, lose my contacts, lose my credit cards, start over in a town nobody knows me, in a beat up town, by the way. So this guy spends 90 days, in addition to the challenges. Check it out. This guy was just getting over some cancer treatments. Didn't even really talk about that in the show, but I understand from the 9th episode, the one they just dropped, he had complications from his cancer treatments. He was throwing up, living out of his truck, selling trucks, flipping trucks, tried to flip a house, I think, that turned out bad. I mean, it's as real as I've seen reality TV. And I learned so much watching it. You know, I really started questioning myself. Could you start over with $100? Could you start over with no name? Could you start over in a new town? And by the way, why would you even do this? That's the most insane part of it. I mean, the reason I have so much respect for this guy is, I got to tell you, I'm sitting there watching every show. My wife and I, Elena, watched it with me, and I was like, she's like, you think you could do that? I'm like, I think I could. The question not is, could I do it? The question is, would you do it? And the answer every time was like, that is insane. And I'm all about crazy challenges and doing stuff that's insane and really living life to the fullest, and the adventure and the discovery and the push and the shove and all. But I got to tell you, Glenn Stearns, if you see this video, man, I got to tell you, brother, mad respect at every level for what you did, okay? How you managed that first $100, which I learned a lot watching that. Like, how you going to live on $100? You got to get housing, food, gasoline, water. Basic needs. How you hustle? How can you hustle when you're hungry? And so, Glenn, watching you, if you see this, man, mad respect. If you guys have not seen this show, it's on Discovery Channel. It's Undercover Billionaire. You can go binge out on all 8 episodes. I think you'll learn as much from watching Glenn in his 90 days in Erie is you could learn like in any seminar, because you're watching the true struggle. Now, I don't know what went on behind the scenes. I wasn't there, but anybody that's crazy enough to do that, leave your comfort. The guy left his yacht, his helicopter, mad envy too, by the way. Glenn, a yacht and a helicopter and your own jet. Well done, brother. Hats off to you again. To leave all that, to leave the comfort of your home and the love of your family and the team that you already have and start over, freaking like, literally like every night I was asking myself, could you do it? But more importantly, would you do it? And I got to tell you, every time I came up, the answer was, ain't no chance in hell. And then I would be like, but if you did, could you pull it off? Would you do it different? So, hey, I'd love to know, have you seen the show? Post below. Have you seen the show? What did you think? What did you like? What didn't you like? What would you do different? I'd love to know, because I know there's some things I would do different if I was doing it. But it just goes to show you also how many different ways there are to get to $1 million. He ended up doing a business he's never done before. They started a thing called what's it called? The restaurant, Underdog Barbecue. And I think they're going to go out and franchise that nationwide. This guy started with $100, a beat up truck, no money, no name, no debt, no credit. Couldn't use his credit cards, couldn't use his influence, couldn't use his name. Like, crazy. It just goes to show you the American dream. The American dream is alive and well, folks. I don't know if you could do this in Iraq, Iran, Pakistan, or even Europe. I don't know if you could do this in these other countries. I don't know. Portugal, Spain. Could you do it in Mexico? I don't know. But I watched this cat for 90 days figure out, oh, I'm going to go down this road and then find out that's not going to work. I got to shift. I got to pivot. I got to move to this. Ends up with a brewery, craft brews, a beer business, and a barbecue business, which we like, dude, why would you want to start a restaurant? There's enough restaurants in America, but he made it work, and now they're going to go out and franchise it. Check out the show, Undercover Billionaire, on Discovery Channel, and follow Glenn Stearns. I actually spent 2 or 3 minutes with him on the phone just saying, hey, man, why would you do this thing? And he's like, hey, Grant, it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life. And, he again, wanted to see if he was up for it. He wanted to see if he could put it back together, mid-50s. He said it was the hardest thing that he's ever done in his life. It was worth the challenge, worth doing it. I hung up the phone with him, told my wife, I'm like, I don't think I could do that. Be without my family. But this is what people go through every day in America, folks. Okay? The difference is Glenn, and I asked him this on the call. I'm like, Glenn, how hard was it knowing that you had a helicopter, a jet, and a yacht back in Florida? I think he lives in Miami, which I didn't know. He's a neighbor of mine. How hard was it being in Erie, in a truck, 15 degrees outside, in the snow, in a shit truck, eating noodles out of a can? How hard is it knowing I could be at home right now, or I could get my jet, fly home, I could be on my yacht in the ocean, 70-degree water down in the Bahamas? When you have to do it, that's one thing. Okay, when you have a choice and you got another lifestyle to go back to, that's another thing. Check out the show, Discovery Channel. Well worth the time, well worth the energy. Definitely a better investment than Tiger King or CNBC or MSNBC or Fox or CNN or any of the political bullshit going on. Check it out. Undercover Billionaire Glenn Stearns on Discovery Channel. I think you can find it almost any time right now. Okay, great show. Great job, Glenn. Hats off to you. Mad respect, buddy. You are Glenn Stearns. Definitely another level of 10X.